We are looking at a lymph node today. We'll keep it short and simple, but there is still a lot of detail concerning this organ and how it functions for us in our body. So what we have here is one lymph node, and I remember I got this as my normal histology exam question to identify it and explain, and most of it was asked around germinal centers, which is what I'll show you. So as we can see here, a lymph node is supplied by afferent arterioles, which are here on the periphery, and there are efferent arterioles more in the central area where the medullary sinuses are, towards the hilum. So remember that you've got a cortex and a medulla area, and the lymph node is encapsulated. You can see it's got a capsule. So fibrous connective tissue, as we can see here, we go to higher power. And here is probably an afferent arteriole bringing in blood here. And in this area, there's what we call a subcapsular sinus. And usually in metastatic conditions, that's where usually metastasis, you get to see irregular cells, malignant cells in this area, usually a first sight. But in the normal lymph node, you get to see there's a space. It's not so clear here on this lymph node or in this section, but probably here you can see there's a subcapsular sinus. And then as we get deep to the subcapsular sinus, we've got this area where we have germinal centers, lighter area surrounded by darker area. So the lighter area is the germinal center, and the darker area is the mantle zone, and then more peripheral to the mantle zone is the marginal zone. So this area is filled with lots of B lymphocytes. So now this is where it gets tricky, and you just have to bear and just have to know these things. So the mantle zone is where we get to have a lot of naive B lymphocytes. This is where we have a lot of naive B lymphocytes. And those naive B lymphocytes, once they are activated by an antigen that comes in as a foreign in the body, they differentiate into what we call immunoblasts. And usually immunoblasts are CD79A positive, or as well as CD20 positive, but mostly CD79A positive. And once they differentiate into immunoblasts, they then migrate here into the central blasts into the germinal center as central blasts. And in this central blasts, they are larger and bigger. They've got darker cytoplasm. Their nuclei are more peripherally located. As you can see here, nuclei is peripherally located for central blasts. And then they further differentiate into centrocytes, which then further differentiate into mature B lymphocytes or plasma cells. So they are the ones that have the memory of that antigen that stimulated them. So if you remember from the mantle zone, you have naive B lymphocytes, and remember these B lymphocytes are CD20 positive, right? And then as we in the germinal center, where there are other cells which are called tingible body macrophages, and these clean up and mop up the dividing these lymphocytes, that B lymphocytes that are progressing, those that are defective, that are recognizing self antigens, that my body is attacking self. They become apoptotic. The cell stops them from dividing, become apoptotic, and the tingible body macrophages eat them up. So as you can see, they are larger cells with very clear cytoplasm, and sometimes you may see apoptotic bodies within here. Like you can see here, here's an apoptotic body, that small fragment. Probably this is a tingible body macrophage. Let me show you another one. Okay. So germinal centers don't only have B lymphocytes, which are abundant here. They also have macrophages, which I showed you, which are CD68 positive. They also have follicular dendritic cells. Okay. And there are also a few T lymphocytes. If you stained with CD3, you'll find that they may light up as well. I'm just trying to look for more tingible body macrophages. I like looking at them. They are quite nice to look at. You can see probably this is one here, big one here. And then as we are away from the follicles, we have the parafollicular area, which is filled with much more T lymphocytes. The CD3 lymphocytes, I call them CD3 lymphocytes. The T lymphocytes. And we also have interdigitating histiocytes. Interdigitating dendritic cells that are usually S100 positive. And remember, this whole architecture is supported by reticulin fibers. So that's about lymph node. And remember, this is a very, very important organ and for our immune system. And I hope you get to read up more about this. And also, just to add, is when we get like an infection, this tends to swell up. Apart from metastasis, they get to swell up and they become very reactive. I'm sure you've heard of in conditions like tonsils and tonsillitis, which are other kinds of lymph nodes, lymphoid tissue. And with tonsils, they are encased with epithelium. Probably I'll show you a tonsil probably in the next video. Otherwise, that's about a lymph node, and I hope you enjoy or have learned something from this video. And please supplement with your textbooks and what you learn from your lectures, peers, and just keep enjoying histology and anatomy. Thank you.